introduce you to our panelists. The first panelist we have is Mr. Sandeep Chugh. He's the CEO and MD of Benetton India. He has been at the forefront of leading the Indian subsidy of UCB's consumer and product strategy. Thank you, sir. Next up, we have Mr. Saif Ali Khan, an industry veteran. He's an industry veteran who has been known to commit heavily to each role that he takes and stays sharp on the learning curve. He is a man of knowledge and intellect. Next up, we have Ms. Bhumi Pednekar, who is one of the most fearless women we have in the industry, who has been breaking stereotypes since her first role. And next up, we have Mr. Sidhant Chaturvedi, whom you all know better as our lovely MC Sher. And he's also appeared in this extremely great performance in Gully Boy. He's nothing less than a youth icon for all of us here. So guys, we'll jump into it. We'll start our discussions. We'll start with all our questions and everything. While you join the discussion, if you like it, what you like it, you can just go to your social media handles and talk about it. We have hashtags United by Vote, and we have hashtags Show Them Power. You can tag Benetton India on your social handles and talk about what you're liking about this entire discussion. Let's get started. Would you guys please give our amazing panelists one large round of applause? Thank you.
One for the audience also.
Yes, let's give one for the audience as well. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We'll start by discussing about a very basic thing: how elections unite this country, okay? When I think about elections, I think this is the one day when people from all stratas, all backgrounds, all working backgrounds, all family backgrounds come together to do one thing, to vote. They all combine in this act of voting. Do you think elections unite the country like nothing else does in India? Would you like to start, Saif?
Well, yes. I mean, the act of voting in the largest democracy in the world is obviously a very unifying thing.
Yes.
The question is, you know, I mean, the importance of voting. I mean, and is the most important thing that you can do as a citizen of this country. I think young people notoriously do not vote. And I think that is the reason we've been brought here today, is to speak at this forum, to try and influence and point out the importance of that vote today. And living in a democracy, that voice you have, that importance you have to effect change is the most important thing. And I think that unity and that awareness of that democracy is why we're here. So, you know, good afternoon, everybody. And thank you for that question.
Yeah. Bhumi, you want to add something to that?
Absolutely. As you said, it definitely is the largest festival that all of us can come together and celebrate, irrespective of our religion, caste, creed, color, etc., etc. Yes. You know, I believe we are going to have around 900 million voters this year.
Yes.
And I think it's amazing. And yes, it's a festival, but and it's a holiday. That doesn't mean that you sit home and chill. You know,
it's a long weekend, guys.
Yeah, and you can't. You have to be responsible about the fact that we are in a democracy. Our constitution has given us the right to vote, and we have to exercise it with a lot of responsibility.
Yes.
You know, we are the people that are going to choose our government. The government is made by us, for us.
Yes.
You know, we have to make sure that we have the right people in a place of power.
Yes.
You know, that are responsible and that love our nation as much as we do.
Definitely.
You know, so definitely it's a festival, and we need to celebrate it, and we need to be proud of it. We can't be negative ki, you know, kya fayda jaake vote kare, ya, you know, what's the point of going and voting? No, it's your duty towards your country.
Definitely. Like, as we must all have heard, it's not just a right, it's a responsibility. So, yeah. Okay, I have some names here, okay? Sorry, you wanted to add something, Sidhant? Please do.
Yeah, I mean, I should, right?
Yes, you should.
Well, काफी तादाद में लोग आए. I see some empty seats, but I hope this doesn't happen on the voting day. So guys, please go vote because do it for yourself, yeah. It's like a dressing on your burger, maybe, you know. And if you don't choose that, you won't like it when you eat it. So choosing your country, you're making your country. You guys, you know, of all the things you wait to do when you turn 18, I think one of the most fun thing is to make a country, which you'll remember when you're old, and you know, so just do it, guys. It's choose your leader, choose your government, and yeah, and just 29th of April is also speaking about holidays, yeah. Don't do that. I know you can vote and go have fun, chill, play some games, watch IPL, do whatever you want to, but please vote. That's the priority, and that's you know, do it for the freedom fighters who have you know, fought for our country, envisioned you know, an India where you know, they wanted to make this India great.
Yes.
Sone ki chidiya, as they say. Get it back again, and it's in our hands. हम नहीं करेंगे तो कौन करेगा? Over like I think around 2/3 of the population is under 35, so it's the youth has a very important role to play. It's our duty, it's our responsibility, and our right to choose the one who
Completely
leads our
agree.
country.
हम नहीं करेंगे तो कौन करेगा?
Exactly.
And even one vote is important, right? So I think not voting should not be an option.
Definitely.
And, yeah, and you can really affect change. And people will fear. I think one of the things that any government or any leader should fear and be really aware of is the power of unity, of union in this country. Like if you get together, if you get a student union body together and, you know, decide and discuss and decide you can vote one way or not, suddenly you become really important people to these guys and they'll fear you. So use that and look after the country we live in.
Awesome. Mr. Chug, you want to add something?
Yeah, I just want to add, you know, again, it's 900 million voters, it's 400 million young voters, 1 million booths. You know, that's 29 states, 7 union territories. So it's a country which is really vast and very, very big, the biggest democratic setup. And, you know, when you look at, so this is a national election, but when you look at elections over a period of time, whether the state elections or what, you know, wherever people have really come out and voted, you've seen the evolution happening, the change happening, and, you know, sort of a revolution happening. So it's very, very important for us to understand that the power of vote, even one person really, you know, makes a lot of difference, and we need to realize and contribute towards it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I have some names here of young people who are really leaving a mark globally and who are taking actions which are impacting the country in large ways, right? So I have Mirabai Chanu, who has made the country proud at all the weightlifting championships. We have 2 girls who are called Aditi Prasad and Deepti Rao. They have started something which helps young girls in the country code, helps them learn code so that they can implement that code and lead to real life impact, right? Then we have people like Anand Maligawad, who is in Bangalore and who is cleaning lakes after lakes after lakes in the city because he feels this is his job, this is his responsibility. He has to make his environment the way he wants it. So young people, be it in any field, right? Be it in Bollywood, education, science, technology, innovation, they have the power to steer change, steer the country towards a better tomorrow. So I wanted to ask you guys, how do you think the youth can help India progress? Saif.
So, well, you know, I think it's also about mindset. I mean, we came from a time, I did a film on that also, where, you know, you kind of had to follow a certain career path many years ago. I mean, following certain things was not an option. Even, frankly, becoming an actor was not always the most attractive option for certain people in families. Be a doctor or a lawyer and that kind of thing, and you're educated accordingly. And today, like you said, about whether it's weightlifting, all these things, it's also a question of options and mindset that's come forward.
Yes.
And that's the biggest change, and that discussion and that awareness that young people will bring to that.
Yeah, they could take that mindset forward and make sure they're doing what they're really passionate about.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
So yeah, the idea is to find a passion and to kind of use that to effect whatever positive change or that you can in your universe, in your
Definitely.
sphere,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Bhumi, you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I mean, our youth is our future, right?
Yes.
With the way the world is connected today, we automatically have realized that, okay, we are lacking certain things in our country, but you just can't blame the government for it. We have to individually take some responsibility and make sure that we can bring about certain amount of change in our own way. You know,
Yes.
it can be something as simple as convincing the people that work for you, your staff, that you must go vote, or you must be responsible about the way you use water, or burning crops is not the best way of getting rid of, it causes air pollution.
Yes.
On a very individualistic level, we need to bring about a change. And I think that's what our youth has realized.
Yes.
You have so many portals, like the one that you run,
Yes.
right? Where you are constantly bringing out constructive stories about what we as Indians are doing to bring about a change.
Yes.
The internet obviously is a great boon. It has helped us a lot. It has helped us kind of open up our minds and see how our country can just become better. We've realized that, okay, we can't have an ostrich mentality. We need to understand that, okay, this is a situation that we are in, and if we don't take strong actions against them, shit's gonna go down.
Yes.
So, and I feel we are the ones that can do it. We have to do it for future generations to come. We have to do it for our current situation.
Yes, you do.
And the youth has all the power, yeah. They have to, as Sir said, I think we have about 400 million young voters.
Yeah.
That's a huge number. And I truly, truly hope that all of them go vote, because you've got to be the change that you want to see.
Yes.
That's how you make a country strong.
Yeah, it all starts from the basic. Be the change that you want to see. Definitely. Mr. Chug, you want to add something?
Yeah, so when you look at youth, it's really bringing in a lot of change, whether you look at the new startups, whether you look at, the things which are happening around the country. I was reading an article 2 days back which mentioned about a young lady who has started a surfing community in a very small village town near Mangalore.
Yeah.
So, these are very, very inspiring stories. Imagine setting up a surfing community and providing livelihood to nearby villages, telling each villager that, your family, if it takes care of, let's say, a tourist who comes, and, you offer them meals and accommodation, that is how you earn better, you provide education to your kids, and the whole community, the whole village evolves.
Yeah.
So, there are really very, very interesting stories. And even when I talk to my son, he's 14 years old, and if I tell him that, okay, this is what I'm thinking about you, he says, you don't think about me, let me think about myself. So this is the kind of change. And when you see such a vibrant youth and such an empowered youth, you really feel blessed that you're in a country where the youth is very, very active and is willing to participate and willing to contribute towards the progress of the country. And I feel, the biggest contribution which is required is now, when the biggest democratic setup and, the voting is happening.
Yeah. Siddhant, I think you have already added to it. You want to add more to that?
Yes, there's so much to add to that, because I think social media is a very, when we're talking about youth, social media is a very important medium.
Yes.
Awareness about the procedure, if you're registered in a different state, you won't be able to vote here, but there are procedures. You fill a form 6. There's so many things, and it's all available on the internet.
Yes.
And I think the youth, there's an app recently launched called Voters Helpline.
Okay.
So you can check your status there. So it's becoming youth friendly.
Yeah.
But we, as the young India, we need, I think. So I come from theatre. And we used to do a lot of plays about street plays about the government, about Sarkar.
Okay.
I think there should be a lot of funding from the government distributed equally. There are only very few sectors which are, the priority is on that. But even in sports, there's football, there's so many other sports which need a lot of funding, because we want to be able to do everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Whatever we choose. ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए कि okay, if I want to learn film, I want to go to a film school, I'm going somewhere else. We should, focus on that, because that's what will structure our country in the long run. may it be an acting institute, or may it be football, or may it be any sports, or we need to open a lot of more theaters. I'm talking about the plays.
Yeah.
Because it's different, because there's a lot of I think
Passion.
there's a lot of passion
Yeah.
in the youth, which is
Yeah.
which I feel which needs focus.
Definitely. Like Saif said, taking
Yeah.
the mindset of passion,
Exactly, yeah.
finding, working for my passion and running with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great. So I'll come back to voting. Now, of course, we have established voting on the big day is super, super important. You have to go out and vote. But what I think the days before that particular day are even more important, because that's when you reach a decision of who am I going to vote for. And that, I think, boils down to research as much as you can and take a very, very informed decision, right? So is there a process that you guys follow to reach to a decision that you're going to vote? Yes, please, Saif.
Okay, so I mean, like you say, research. And
Yes.
today it's great. There's more information out there. Even political parties, I think, have realized that they need to put out their manifestos, and it's available. You have to do some work, you know. You have to kind of read and find out, and then don't believe everything you read is lesson number one. There's so much rubbish also out there. You got to recognize when, you know, somebody's pro-government, somebody's just unnecessarily against government, and sift out. There's certain publications, certain, you know, websites that kind of speak the truth, and you know, everyone knows which ones those are. I won't advocate
Read from
them.
all angles.
Yeah, read from all angles. You have
Yeah.
to read. We were taught I was taught when I was young. If you really want to get a good picture of what's going on, you've got to read 3 or 4 different newspapers, actually.
Yes.
And then you kind of get the rough idea with some consistent facts. So certain things, like people tend to vote for the man in the center. But that's not what you're doing. You're voting for your MLA or your district guy. So you have to find out who that lady is, who that gentleman is, do some research on that. And I mean, like that, for example.
Yes,
Right?
definitely. Find out what that person has done so far, the kind of impact
Are
they've
they,
created
you know,
so
what are the
far.
promises made? Have they been delivered? You know,
Yeah.
is it a progressive situation? Have these things actually happened? Basically, we're here to tell you, as the youth, that you guys are really important, and you can effect change, and you can change things. And if you're not happy with the way things are, if you are happy with the way things are and you all vote, then great, this is the country we deserve. But if anyone feels that we don't deserve certain things and we want resolution, you guys can do it. But it's up to you. You've got to actually, everyone has to be political much younger than when we were, or when I was. I mean, you've got to start now.
Definitely. Moving?
Well, just adding to what Saif said is that, you know, we shouldn't vote for a party. We should vote for the leader in our constituency.
Yes.
You know, we should do our fact checks. We should see what have they done in the past. Do they actually deserve, you know, even being a nominee? And if they do, then what are the promises that they are making, and are they capable of fulfilling those promises? Because change needs to happen on a very micro level, you know.
Yeah.
Then an accumulated positive outcome would just be bigger. You know, okay, if he said that, okay, we'll build roads, has he actually built roads? You know, how evolved is this person? Is this person's mentality?
Definitely.
You know, that's the kind of research we need to do. You know,
Yeah.
it just can't be, acha, I'm pro this party, I'm pro that party. No, that's not how we are going to develop as a nation.
Definitely.
You know, so that's all I have to say, adding to what Sir said.
Yeah. Mr. Chugh, you want to add something?
So just to add to what Saif and Bhumi mentioned, it's actually a process where we need to actually spend a bit of more time, do a lot of research, understand where we are, how is our environment, and what has to be done looking into your local constituency, because that's how it starts. So it starts from where you live and the place where you belong, and then it moves up. So if we are able to, over a period of time, you know, take an informed decision, it helps us building up a great nation. That's how I look at it, because it's about starting from the place where you are. And if you take an informed decision, and it may not happen, you know, at one go together, but at least when more and more people start taking these informed decisions, we will definitely see a big change. That's what
Yeah.
we want.
Yeah. Siddhant, I'll expand from here. So, you know, people in places of influence, like you guys, or people in places of influence from all fields, across the fields that are, do you think they can also influence people and help them realize that it's really important to vote, and how can they do that?
So the thing is, we have social media.
Yes.
And we know that. We know the power of that. Uh, the other side is even the political parties know that we are stuck to our phones, and they'll do their best to advertise, to change your opinion. They put a lot of money to they know it's the digital age. So also one of the things is I think एक सैर सपाटा करा हो यार जहाँ पे रहते हो मोहल्ले में देखो कि क्या हो रहा है आसपास because social media, get off your phone for a while and just go around and just see who you want, the one who's representing the party, do your own research. It's just not a one step Google or whatever you read on Facebook or Instagram or whatever posters you see, because even they know that you're going to see that. So they'll just feed you. But if you go out on your own, I'm not telling you to be a total Sherlock and go like, listen, I want to like go around and see what's happening. But still, like one-to-one conversations with the people who have been living there, the youngsters, and you can see around. You can see. I mean, if you get off your phone, put it in your pocket, just stand and just see around the roads, the condition of the area you're living in. So that's very important for you visually, because it's right there in front of you. You'll know it.
Definitely.
And then talking to people about what's happening. I think WhatsApp, make a group, guys, just discuss things rather than just reading fake news or getting swayed away by the social media advertisements, because they know. उनको पता है कि तुम लोग like करोगे, swipe करोगे, share करोगे, सब पता है उनको.
Taking that to an even micro level, I was thinking like.
Everyone has a different sphere of
Yes.
influence. Now, I
Yes.
mean, even if you're influencing people who work with you at home, or if you work in a farm, maybe the farmers you work with, or whatever your environment is, you can. Because I think one of the imbalances in our country that we are all socially trying to address is the imbalance, whether it's a financial imbalance, it's also an imbalance with access to information.
Yeah.
So if you can spread some of that,
Definitely.
it would be great.
You don't need 1 million followers on Instagram. You can actually talk to the people who you influence directly in your community. Definitely, definitely. So let's go to look at some of the most impactful initiatives and efforts, right, which have happened since independence, which you think have made a real difference in the country's development. So like when I think about it, we talk so much about women empowerment today. We talk so much about women empowerment, and we have reached a stage where everyone is so comfortable talking about it. We are having more and more engaged and encouraged conversations around it. So like that's a development in my eye. So if you could think about what are the things that you feel have developed in a way that they are taking the country towards a more positive future. Bhumi? Yes, please.
Talking about development, yes, I mean, there's been a huge wave of, women empowerment, feminism, which is, which has been, it's not totally related to the politics or the government. It's more of the people who are, becoming aware day by day what's happening. And that's, again, I'll give that credit to the, globalization or the social media. But the things I think which need to change is